everybody, welcome back to The Vegan View. I'm so excited to say that today's episode of The Vegan View is brought to you by Earth Echo Foods, and we're going to show you how to incorporate their product Cacao Bliss, which is a superfood elixir blend. You can use the coupon code The Vegan View for 15% off, and you can check out their website linked below in our description. This morning I decided to add a little bit of the Cacao Bliss to my crepe recipe to make some fun, delicious chocolate crepes. I like to make this in my Vitamix because it's just easier to mix. You will need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of Cacao Bliss, a tablespoon of cane sugar, 1 1/4 cup of any plant milk you like, and 4 inches of a very ripe banana. Then you just blend that all together and you have your batter. And then I filled mine with raspberries. I topped it with some powdered sugar and some fun plant-based whipped cream I found. And I thought they were a really fun, delicious, chocolatey take on a breakfast.
Hey guys, it's Nicole, and for breakfast on this day, I started with some quick cooking oats that I made with coconut milk, salt, and a little cinnamon. And then I added some chia seeds and frozen cherries. And then I added my favorite secret ingredient, which is a few drops of almond extract. This is a lot stronger than vanilla extract, so you really only need a few drops, but it's a really quick way to add a ton of flavor to your breakfast and just make it taste a little bit fancier, a little bit more elevated, but like I said, it's really fast. Plus the combination of almond and cherry is just so good. So I mixed that all together. I added some unsweetened coconut yogurt as well as some cinnamon apples that I had prepped from a few days before. Then I added some peanut butter, which, let's be honest, is the best part. And then I just finished this with a little bit more cinnamon, some chia seeds and hemp seeds, mostly just for texture and because toppings are fun. And this was my breakfast. It takes about 5 minutes from start to finish. I have it almost every day because it is so good, especially when you get the little bit of peanut butter and then the cherries, which are warm from the oatmeal, and the cinnamon. It is so good. You have to try it.
Hey guys, it's Hannah. So I'm just doing a super easy breakfast. I've got these English muffins that I'm gonna toast up in the toaster. And I used to make this breakfast all the time. I totally forgot about it, but it's so simple and good. I'm just gonna add some Earth Balance to the toasted muffins. And then whatever jam you like, I had raspberry on hand, so I'm adding some raspberry on top of the melted butter. And oh my gosh, it is such a simple yet so delicious breakfast. The holes of the muffin kind of suck up the juices. It's so good. Definitely give it a try if you're in a breakfast funk. I love this one so much.
Hi everybody, it's NISHA. For lunch, I made a little light garden salad. I did a cup of mashed chickpeas, some thinly sliced red onions, some dill and cherry tomatoes, and then my favorite spring mix. Then I just did a lemon and olive oil salad dressing with some salt and garlic granules. And then my friend brought over some Monty's, which is a restaurant in LA. They do like In-N-Out style vegan burgers because she knew I was having a bad day. You know, it's a true friend when they bring you a vegan burger.
It's Nicole again, and for lunch on this day, I had pretty much what I have every day, which was just some open-faced sandwiches. I took some Ezekiel bread and I toasted it up and then added a pretty thick layer of some homemade hummus, as well as some creamy avocado slices and then cool and crunchy sauerkraut, which offers a little bit of tang, which is really nice with like the creamy hummus and the creamy avocado. I always like to add a fresh herb, and today it was dill. I did lots of salt and pepper with a little squeeze of lemon, and this was my lunch.
Hello, it's lunchtime, and I'm gonna be making a little concoction that was actually one of those like suggested recipes at Trader Joe's. So I'm just gonna be draining these Cuban black beans, draining and rinsing this jackfruit, and adding that to a pan with this pepita salsa and heating it up. And then I'm just gonna put it over some rice, and that's gonna be my lunch. I'm very excited about how easy this is. I'll let you guys know how it goes. So I'm just adding the beans that I drained, the drained and rinsed jackfruit. Make sure you pull it apart so it's nice and meaty. And then I'm adding the salsa. I didn't add the whole jar even though the recipe called for it. I added about 3/4 of the jar because I didn't want it to be too spicy. So then you just wait for it to heat up in the pan. And once it's nice and steamy, you can assemble your bowl. I just did some mixed greens, some cilantro lime rice. Then I added the mixture on top.
And you can put whatever toppings you want on top, just get creative. But I added some homemade guacamole, which was essentially just mashed avocado, cilantro, and some chili lime seasoning and some lime juice. So good. Very, very easy lunch, and I loved this.
I'm so excited. That is so good and so easy and makes so much food. I definitely feel like this could serve 4 bowls. You know, obviously if you add like rice and lettuce and guacamole and all that stuff, but like this is a lot of food and it was so quick and easy, and I'm just like shocked. It tastes so flavorful. I also got some of the cashew fiesta dip, which I feel like would be really good on top of this as well, but I just forgot. So next time. All right, I am going to be making a little snack. I'm so excited about this. It's kind of like a dessert slash snack. I feel like it can be whatever you want it to be. It could be breakfast, dessert, snack, but I'm gonna eat it as a snack. So I am going to be making something that I used to make all the time growing up, which is no-bake cookies. And if you know, you know, they're seriously so good, but I'm kind of making the recipe a little bit different. Obviously vegan. When I used to make it growing up, I was not vegan, but I used to make these all the time when I was a cheerleader. I would give them to my football player because we would get like assigned a football player, and we'd give them goodies before the game, which they should have given us goodies. All right, anyways, I'm gonna make them for myself, and you are going to need these things. So I'm gonna be using the Cacao Bliss cacao blend. Very excited because it has like a few other things in there like cinnamon. So I think it's gonna taste really, really nice. And then you're gonna want some sea salt, some vanilla flavoring, peanut butter, rolled oats, and maple syrup. And then I'm gonna put them in a muffin tin, but you don't need this. You can just put them on some parchment paper on a baking sheet. They just need a place to cool down, and I like the shape of these little cups. And you're gonna need coconut oil. So we're gonna do 5 tablespoons of coconut oil. And put that on low heat. And then 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, a 1/4 cup of the Cacao Bliss cocoa powder, a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You want to make sure you do it on low heat so that it doesn't burn, because it can burn really easy. And then you just want to keep stirring it until it's all combined. So now that that's fully mixed in, I'm going to remove it from heat. Add 1 cup of oats and stir. All right, now we're gonna put this in the fridge to cool. All right, and then we're gonna use that same saucepan, and we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of peanut butter, and then 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. All right, so once it's nice and melted down like that, we're gonna take the bites out of the fridge and add this on top. So now they're gonna go back in the fridge for about 15 to 20 minutes until they get nice and cooled. So it's got a ton of benefits in this, but this is so decadent. It's definitely like a dessert. It's such a treat. But you still feel like you're eating stuff that is going to fuel your body in a nice way. I feel like this really just elevates this recipe for me, and it's so good. I highly recommend it. Let me know if you guys try it out. Cheers.
Hey, it's Nicole again, and for my snack today, I had some roasted cashews. This was a savory flavor, but there's also a toasted coconut flavor that I really like when I want something sweet, but this was a really quick and easy snack.
Hi everybody, it's Nisha. For dinner we made some burritos. I did some rice, some black beans, some diced onion and cilantro. Also did a little bit of mashed avocado since I didn't feel like making guacamole. And I did some of this yummy local salsa and some greens. And then this is what it looked like. I also microwaved some of this mild nacho cheese to dip my burrito in. Chef's kiss. Fast dinners are the best.
For dinner tonight, I made my cleaning out the fridge pizza, which is basically a pizza with whatever kind of odds and ends I have in the fridge. And a lot of times I will buy a pre-made crust. Sometimes I'll do an actual pizza crust. Sometimes I'll do a cauliflower crust or this chickpea flour crust that I am loving right now. And I just went ahead and I put some tomato sauce on top. Sometimes I'll do barbecue sauce, salt, pepper, oregano, a little glug of olive oil, and then I top it with whatever veggies I have on hand that I want to use up. On this day, I had some roasted portobello mushrooms, some eggplant, some yellow squash, and then I also had some random green beans. So I just cut those into little tiny pieces, and it was awesome because I really didn't notice they were there. Once you put the cheese and everything on top, you can kind of get away with putting all kinds of veggies on pizza, and it makes it hearty, filling, nourishing, and still tastes like pizza. All right, I'm just grabbing my cacao bliss. This is, you can tell I've already used it. I already love it. Normally what I love to do is mix it into my oatmeal in the morning for a really good like chocolatey oatmeal. So good with cherries, again, like I had earlier, but with like a dark chocolate vibe, dark chocolate and cherry, such a good combination. So I love it for that, and that's usually what I do, but I'm also gonna use it for hot chocolate tonight. And so I'm gonna mix together my cacao bliss with soy milk, that's what I have. And I'm just going to have that ready to go so that all I have to do is warm it up after dinner and put it into a mug and then cozy up on the couch. It's gonna be so great. So I'm gonna do that now so it's ready. So this couldn't be simpler. I just went ahead and I took a mug. This is the one that Hannah got me from our Target challenge. And a good way to measure out the amount of milk that you're gonna need is just to fill up your mug and then put it in the blender. I did a combination of a little bit of the barista blend with almond milk so that it was nice and thick and creamy. And then I added my cacao bliss directly into the blender. I like to do liquids and then powders whenever I'm blending so that it doesn't stick to the sides. Then I added a little bit of maple syrup, some salt. You could do a little vanilla extract. You can kind of customize this, but I just blended it for a few seconds and it immediately looked like chocolate milk, which was awesome. And then I just popped this in the fridge until I was ready to use it later. At this point, my pizza was ready and smelling amazing, so I just went ahead and I let that cool slightly while I threw together a salad, and then I plated this up, and I think this is an appropriate pizza to salad ratio, don't you guys? This is such a good way to use up leftover veggies that you have on hand, especially if you're like me and there's times where you just have all these odds and ends that don't really seem to go together. You can either have a very random disjointed meal, which happens all the time, but you could just throw it onto a frozen pizza crust like this, throw some vegan cheese on top, and have a more like proper meal, like a pizza and salad night, you know, as opposed to just random leftovers. So I love using a pizza crust as a way to make sure that nothing in my fridge goes to waste. If you want to use a tofu ricotta for some extra protein, one of my favorite recipes I've ever made is my tofu ricotta. I use it in my stuffed shells recipe, in my baked ziti recipe. I use it all the time, and I will also dollop it on pizza. So I'm gonna shut up now so I can eat my dinner, but I will see you guys for dessert.
So for dinner, I just had some leftovers. It's this tofu bowl with broccolini, roasted tomatoes, sauerkraut, and a really delicious tahini tamari sauce. And yeah, it was election night, so I just wanted something easy and cozy, and luckily I had this left over in my fridge, so that's what I had for dinner.
At this point in the evening, I was definitely ready for some hot chocolate, so I just went ahead and I warmed up the hot chocolate till it was not quite boiling, but just warm and kind of frothy. Honestly, it's good just like this, but I decided to make it feel a little more festive with some whipped cream. Normally I like the soy version a little bit better, but this is what was available, so I went to town, as you can see. And then I put some sprinkles on top. These are some vegan sprinkles that have like little white stars and gold flecks. They're so pretty. And a couple of Enjoy Life chocolate chips, aka my favorite chocolate chips for baking, and honestly just for snacking. They're really good, and they were really good on the hot chocolate. They kind of melted down and it was delicious. I've played around with the measurements and stuff with this, and it is also really good if you stir in a tablespoon of almond butter, or you could even do like vegan chocolate hazelnut spread. That would be really good. Peanut butter would be good. You can really kind of make it your own and experiment with different combinations and different ratios, but this is super chocolatey and just really cozy. It's actually one of my favorite things to have in the evening time to kind of break up the day. Some days I'll have a glass of wine, some days I'll have something cozy like a tea latte or a hot chocolate, and for those nights this is definitely one of my favorites, especially if I'm going to be watching movies and I just want to be cozy. So highly recommend. I will put the recipe in the description below, but I'm going to go finish this now and be cozy.